that was our attempt at Shuriwook. I think it mostly ends up being atonal screeching though.
Yeah. And
I'm fairly sure it was racially insensitive. I've been told by like a few friends that we probably shouldn't say that. Probably shouldn't be saying that on open air either.
I don't think there's much open and much air we're in right now, so I think
we have just like escaped from out of Hoth.
fuck
How are you
that
doing?
place.
How are you doing, Zenna?
I'm miserable. I'm cold. I'm pretty sure we haven't peed in 12 hours.
Yeah.
I wish I had Yoda's moonshine and
his
many other
Radionian
things.
station dick pills.
Anakin?
I mean,
Radionian gas station dick pills? You must not.
this is probably the worst cold open we've ever done. Welcome, Banthas Behind Back 2. This is our 4-part series. I think it's the 4th part. This is probably going to be the 4th and final part in our coverage in our coverage even of our galaxy's favorite bastard, Anakin fucking Skywalker. With me, I've got Zenna Paloe. How are you doing, Zenna?
in the flesh.
In the actual flesh, finally.
In the actual flesh, finally.
Yeah.
We didn't have to miserably escape that fucking place. Goddamn. But
Listen.
also, I would rather be in.
So we've thoroughly escaped Hoth. We're out of Imperial reach, and we're currently in somewhere in space, which we probably can't say on open air. Otherwise, we will.
Mon Mothma will arrest us. No, Mon, we don't want to piss you off. Thank you for
we love you,
letting
Mon.
us keep this radio on air.
You're so baby girl, Mon. So baby girl.
I don't think she would appreciate that.
And yet, we've said it anyway. I blame you for this personally, Zenna. I'm Meetra Surik. Welcome back to Behind the Banthas. Finally, let's talk a bit more about Darth fucking Vader. So, in our last episode, we've ended off talking about the atmosphere of paranoia and the brutality of the Imperial regime and how that led to eventually the massive wiretapping scandal, which we all know and love. So, to continue on from where we left off. So Palpatine and Vader together plotted to ensure the full wiretapping of the entire Senate, and this became most apparent around the secrecy of the Imperial superweapon plans, particularly around the acts of Director Orson Krennic, which we'll get to him in a bit as well. So, despite the scary bad boy image that he's projecting, Vader is, at this point, a complete fucking kicked puppy and is desperate for approval.
Imagine just like, okay, we have to give more context to where we're headed right now. As I'm pretty sure the readers and listeners of this podcast have known that I, Zenna, did the groundbreaking, miserable, honestly depressive work of sifting through all of the leaks in the Gorgate scandal.
Oh, we are going to get to that.
And find that out. Basically, we are kind of setting the stage of how these kind of fascist imperial projects that are motivated by, of course, a fucking religious, I don't know, kooky philosophy, end up semen retention philosophy. I don't give a fuck at this point. Y'all need to touch some grass, and I think we should know less about each other. And also,
did your therapist tell you that? Did Mon Mothma's
my
mandated
Mon
therapist tell you
Mothma
that?
mandated state femme therapist told me that, you know?
Good. I'm glad that she's giving you good advice.
Yeah, she's
clearly,
giving me good advice.
To know less about each other.
She's giving me good
Which
advice,
is
and
why
also
we now
she's
have to
advising
know
me
more about Darth Vader.
I think you're sadly right. Of course.
Sorry, I interrupted you. As you were saying.
Yeah, I was just wanting to say that, like, despite being encouraged to be gas station sober, I was told to stop spreading conspiracies about child hunting island,
we really have to censor that bit again.
I'm so sorry to our lovely producer Veronica, who will probably be, who is in the room with us listening to me.
Blue Milk did nothing wrong, and we would love them to
totally
continue sponsoring this podcast.
Child hunting islands where the entire, slave trade hunts the most children, and especially Watto. However, I'm so sorry to our producer Veronica. She's looking at me, looking at her, looking at me. And all I have to say is Watto's shoulders should match them hips. Those who get it will do.
This is probably deeply concerning for most of our listeners. Should we get back on?
I think we should
should we get back on track?
Yes.
Should we get back on track before we get distracted with Jabba the Epstein's
Yes, and maybe before
island?
it gets too depressing, we should mention that like we have like fist fought in Tatooine, and like also had a light bulb fight in the street. But that's like when things get really rough. We'll break out that story time.
Okay, so going back to our wonderful bastard here. So despite, as I was saying, the bad boy image that Vader is projecting, he is a desperate and kicked puppy who is very, very much longing for approval. Historian Mikhail Tyronis writes, quote, lacking in any other sources of emotional support, he turned to Palpatine to provide comfort. And that's, it's just kind of embarrassing, honestly, really.
Anakin, don't
Truly.
be gas station sober.
I mean, I don't think that man has ever provided any good advice to anyone.
Sober.
Like, not even a little bit. So when trying to actually address the gaping need for approval... that he seems gaping, truly.
I prefer malleable.
That is what you said the other night, yes. That is what you said when we were trying
We're
to...
not opening that
When we were trying to smuggle all that spice out of Castle. Yeah, I know.
Malleable. So where are we gonna hide that spice, Meetra? In our asshole? Because
I think
which one of us is more gapey?
I think you're more malleable of the two of us.
No,
but thank you.
I prefer
You prefer malleable?
gapey.
You prefer gapey. You prefer gapey.
You're gapey. I'm malleable. I prefer.
I resent that. So when trying to actually address the malleable gaping need for approval that he seems incapable of dealing with, he's left with relatively few options. The only people that aren't deathly afraid of him and therefore are inauthentic sycophants are either officers that fucking loathe him, like Wolf Tarkin or Sheev fucking Palpatine. So he comes up with this ingenious wiretapping plan to prevent any secrets leaking. Now, and bear in mind, like this is how he wants to try and get in Palpatine's good books is to prevent any secrets leaking ever. So he comes up with this wiretapping plan, prevents any of them leaking, and he wiretaps the whole of the ISB.
And this is where I
ISB
can.
are wiretapping everyone else, but he's wiretapping all of them.
So to set up the context, Vader is wiretapping the ISB. The ISB is wiretapping fucking everybody. Mm-hmm. And the way we know so much about everything they were fucking doing is that they don't fucking stop fucking talking about everything fucking they're fucking doing and even fucking each other, which is why we know so much fucking shit on fucking everybody. And even fucking.
This escalates to an absurd degree, and eventually it all culminates in all parties involved wiretapping everyone else around them and also themselves.
So this is the interesting bit about how you have the ISB, which is the official security forces of
the Empire. Well,
so you have
intelligence forces.
You have the regular like military infantry battalions, blah 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 blah
and then
blah.
There's the Admiralty,
and then you have
and the Admiralty's own spy forces, which is slightly different from the ISB, the
however,
internal security forces.
However, yes, the ISB almost gets carte blanche on the illegal, on almost all of the illegal projects, including the Gorman massacre, which is a perpetuated propaganda machine done by the ISB so they could extract valuable resources. However, the difference between the ISB is that they just get carte blanche on what they want, how they should achieve their means. And they are actively encouraged by the system that is created by imperial rule to escalate any given context. We know this, right?
And then when you have the actual leadership
you have this
escalating that themselves.
Utter bullshit of the ISB wiretapping themselves.
Trust no one, not even yourself.
Anakin.
It's fucking it's this right. So
and this is where shit begins to
really
truly
go absurd. So to discuss this particularly unhinged way that this part of the story comes out, we need to talk about the Gore tapes and the Gore scandal.
Basically, the Gore gate
scandal. Yeah. So the Gore tapes are the recordings of a series of meetings between top ISP and other imperial officials that were held in the Malthine Divide several years ago. In them, they discuss how to stage a false flag open insurrection so they could justify illegal resource extraction, and they have now been published throughout the rest of the galaxy as proof of a genocide committed actively by the imperial regime.
So to just set it in context, even looking through like galactic civilizations, genocides are things that are just done by civilizations, not just by humans, because you just want to take people's shit, right? Sometimes it just happens. We have probably one of the oldest evidences near the Saharan desert, where in current times...
The Caravan Desert.
Yes, and it has actually been found in a similar way that, men, women, and children were tied between, they had like similar markings of like corpse decomposition, where their hands were tied behind their backs, and they were probably like buried together in a mass shallow grave, etc., etc. This is like humans going to war with each other, even as like pre-tribal groups, is nothing new that happens. Entire cultures just get wiped out. However, the way that this is distinguished in badly, even in the modern sense, is how mechanized it is,
the industrialized process of death,
and how it is essentially staging a false insurrection or a false insurrectionary event under the pretense of just abusing power. And that is the way that this has been set as the blueprint for many of the core worlds and how to do that. Of course, in the outer worlds, nobody gives a fuck is the main opinion, is the normative desire.
Which is, it's not true, but that's the kind of the often perception from the core world.
Yes, if you're talking about somebody
the Mandalorian
who
Wars kind of really show a lot of how that went. Like there were genocides that were done in that. Like the Cathar people were pretty much almost eradicated. By the Mandalorian. Like that was one of the reasons that I went to war back in the day.
Yes, and that is different from the level of mechanization we have seen now, because this is just two warring powers going into war to justify.
Well, the Cathar were people that were not particularly like super well armed at the time. They did stage a resistance against the Mandalorians, but the difference there is like the Mandalorians were
just two
they were
forces.
using guns.
Yeah,
they were using blasters. They were using ships. They were not using the major mechanized types of death. They weren't
using a propaganda machine.
They weren't using terraforming devices.
Secondly, they weren't using terraforming devices. Third, they did not have major. They didn't orchestrate almost like the approval of the Senate.
Yes, they didn't have a Senate to approve it. That's kind of it was ancient history, really. But
4, they didn't get approval of the Senate, as we said, and 5, I think the other distinguishing kind of attribute to this is the fact that it was done on a core world, and there was a pretense of anti-Gorman sentiment. And after that, there we can see that they planned to run this way. The way you say, if I do A, or if I start from A, I will end up at B.
And this is
which is not something that we see.
And this kind of thing's been practiced on other worlds, right? This has been practiced by the Imperial... Like, we talked about this last time, in the way that the Imperial Corps practiced this on other worlds that it didn't perceive. Like, how it treats people outside of the bounds of the Empire, like on Ryloth, like on Onderon. That's kind of the colonialist projects of the Empire, and the way that people are treated in the colonial peripheries will be the way that the Empire then will treat its own when put under enough pressure.
Yes, and it is terrible to kind of deshadow and not focus on all of the other terrible things that are happening, and really talk about like how I believe that like the entire Gorman genocide and like the entire Gorman scandal is basically them perfecting the method, which I think is a lot scarier, but we'll get into that.
It's also, I think, kind of just evidence that no one is safe. If you think that these kind of things will happen just to people in distant places that aren't you, it's just not true.
You are part of the problem actively. Because the moment your empire loses strength or force,
it turns inward.
Yes, the force, instead of turning outward, it turns inward to solve its problems.
And that's how
we got here, but anyways.
So the Gorman genocide is now generally acknowledged by all but a handful of systems as a genocide. Mon Mothma's famous speech on the Senate's floor, based Mon Mothma. Her famous speech on the Senate floor was widely reported to have changed the viewpoints of many, though recent figures show that only a total of 40% of core world citizens believe that the Empire took things, quote-unquote, too far on Gorman. Now, that figure is still up from 27% the year prior to the genocide, when it was just good old-fashioned, extreme oppression. Really
just really a damning indictment of how propaganda works.
Hopeful for the future.
But do you condemn the Gorman Front, Meetra? Do you really condemn the Gorman Front?
I always condemn the Gorman Front.
And I believe we have just been
the whole time, every time
signaled.
Do
you know who else
condemns the? Do you know who else condemns the Gorman Front? The
products and sponsors of this lovely podcast, who also
do not have a child hunting island. Blue does not have a child hunting island.
You are a bad parent, but you don't have to be. Pre-order Nurture Droid model NOR3 and has the latest of machine parenting intelligence in your home first. Our parenting drawing takes away uncertainty, removing emotional and suboptimal parenting from the picture. Our parent proxy mode uses pre-trained voice cloning and camera-based presence detection to handle repetitive child interactions autonomously. Your child's development is too important to leave to chance. Don't rely on instinct, rely on data. Our development index tracks cognitive, emotional, and behavioral progress using audio and visual monitoring, comparing your child to their peers and ensuring you know when they're failing. Requires subscription to the Nurture School plan by your education center. Contact your local dealership today to find out more about the new NOR3 and request a quote.
And we're back. I sure hope that we still keep getting sponsors.
Thank you, Mon Mothma, thank you, Senator Mon Mothma, who is on the run, and
we're all on the run.
I totally don't admire you for some things, and also I'm thankful for me also making some money while doing this and not being completely miserable.
So,
thank you.
Shall we continue? So while the events surrounding the Gorman genocide are they're interesting, they could make for an entire episode just by themselves, Vader has actually relatively little direct involvement in it.
Fucking shocking.
It's wild, actually. Oh, he was too busy, actually doing bloodbaths on Ryloth himself.
Yeah, I would assume so, because the main kind of linchpins, if you could call them that, in this were
they're all just boring admiralty and boring
yes, and
boring
it is
mid-level officers.
Yes, and it is, I think, very interesting to look at these deeply weird little freaks.
Maybe we should do an episode or two on them.
Oof, that is going to be an interesting thing.
Yeah.
We might discuss that. That might be the second worst thing we're going to make.
I do think that a few episodes on have you heard of Dead Romero? I assume you must have.
Of course I have. I believe that is fascinating. I think we can do an entire episode on her.
Oh, yeah.
However, she is relevant to this episode really interestingly, and
really?
I do have a thing that I can say, and how I think the events have went down and are probably the truth, but we'll see, because I don't really have access to all of the files that are in that. Maybe if possibly when we win, we'll know more.
So, what is relevant to Vader's history is that this entire affair is racked with security leaks and data breaches right from the outset. Some of the first leaks come from low-level employees of Arrakid Industries. This was the company that created the mining droids that would be later used in the terra fracking of Gorman's surface. Others come from intelligence gathered from Gorman resistance partisans, but it becomes more and more apparent that there's direct moles within Vader's organizations themselves. The ISB, the think tank known as the Tarkin Initiative, the Project Celestial Power, they've all got massive information leaks, and these are all the way before the Vulpter data raid. So, kind of fascinating just how much is leaked, which I like finding all of this stuff out. This was your thing, wasn't it, Zenna?
Yeah, it was really interesting being on the ground during that period in Gorman, where you could tell that after the initial massacre that happened, there was a certain level of like low, not even low level paranoia, just paranoia around everybody, where the very infamous like textile and spider weaving industry that is like famous throughout the fashion world in Gorman, and the relative freedom those artists have enjoyed critiquing the imperial forces even through art, fashion, or just how culture also influences art was fascinating for me to be there. Unfortunately, like almost all of the information that I got from partisans was, well, kind of arranged so they are almost all anonymous. But two things were happening at once. You had the Tarkin Initiative, as Meetra said, which is directly affiliated with Imperial forces. And then Project Celestial Power was...
I mean, that's the cover story for what the DS1 station was, right?
Yes, the DS1 station, and it was initially sold as the free energy initiative that solves an age-old question of where the fuck do we get power, which like totally doesn't plague us all and our energy hungriness and our complacency with server data banks and we shouldn't totally shoot every single mass computerized data server bank that controls and collects data, but that is my own opinion.
Well, let's talk about this. So these data leaks, so some of them have been covered extensively by multiple news sources already, and they are ultimately what led to the rebellion, finding Project Celestial Power was actually a front for a superweapon initiative. Vader, desperate for Palpatine's approval, really wanted to crack down on all these data leaks, and so he authorizes wiretapping on the entire Senate, the entire ISB staff, and even his own direct subordinates like Orson Krennic, while also ordering Krennic to wiretap all of his subordinates. And eventually, this is the point where
wires crossing between each other is crazy.
He does go to wiretap himself by the end, so we know how stupid
we know
this gets.
how this fucking ends.
Despite all the hypervigilance, words of the Imperial plans on Gorman got out, including where all the extractive resources were going. Further leaks on top of this included all of the details about the so-called Project Stardust. Now, Zenna, you're probably more familiar with Project Stardust's alternative title. That is the DS1 battle station.
DS1 battle station, colloquially named Death Star.
Yes, the Death Star, yes. Which, well, we don't know all the internal details of what happened there, or even who was the source of all the leaks. All we can assume is that this person would have had to have been relatively high in the ISB for all of the relevant information on the superweapon to have been made public. What we do know is that shortly after the massacre on the Gorman Plaza, senior ISB agent Deidre Miro, who is definitely in the original Gore tapes, was arrested and imprisoned for treason. We also know that the corpse of senior ISB officer Lonnie Young was found on Coruscant's Imperial Plaza shortly after the Gorman Massacre too, but Young never appeared on any of the Gore tapes, nor did he have access to most of the sector data relevant for Project Stardust. So this is kind of a weird little side conspiracy. I know this is not as directly relevant to Vader himself.
Yeah, and we probably
fascinating.
don't fucking know. Mon Mothma, please tell us.
Yeah, so like this
Mon, please tell us. We might want to know. Wink, wink.
Do you think Mon Mothma did it herself?
I think Mon Mothma probably
Do you think
gutted
she?
him.
Yeah, probably.
You know.
Just with her dazzling smile, sharp teeth. So the suspected mole could be either of these people. One may have actually helped the other, but with the overall available evidence, it appears unlikely that Young would have been able to pull off any of the data leaks of this kind of scale alone. What may be most likely is that they collaborated. Young was assassinated by the ISB, and Miro was caught before she could leak further information, and then imprisoned thereafter, but we don't actually fully know.
So what I think actually could have happened between how this could have played out, because when looking at
there's a lot of conspiracy theories, right?
Yeah, of course, but looking at that, it is interesting to see that Young didn't have the security clearance to access all of that data,
No,
and that is certain from other confirmed leaks and in even how the ISB has been treated. So what I do think happened was that Dedra was in fact the mole.
Yeah. Oh, you think she was the traitor?
Yes.
So you think that they actually got the right person?
Yes, because I think in a moment of panic, Young might have realized that she might have been into something or overstretching herself. Altercation happens, she kills him, she's on the run. Other people start realizing, oh fuck, our a high up ISB manager got killed.
And then we have to try and find...
Let's fucking do this, and who do we go hunting for? Whoever's acting out of character, whoever's acting out of this. But they might just also be stupid, and I could be fucking wrong.
It's fascinating, like, because this is the thing that, like, Deidre Merrow is on Gorman. Like, she was there.
She was there.
She was there over... It seems wild and fascinating to me that someone that could have overseen the Gorman genocide would have also been willing to be a traitor to the Empire. Like, those two things just... It doesn't make sense to me, but I cannot pretend I fucking understand any of these people.
But maybe she also saw how...
I think she had a last second change of heart.
Not just that, no, but maybe she saw that this entire project was a money sink, and there was no way, and people were going to be stupid
an absurd money
to
sink.
think, yes, and people were going to be stupid.
Project, truly.
Yes, and people were going to be stupid if they thought that somebody so high up could get away with something so daring, which was a genocide on a core imperial world. And that is something that is like, oh, but I think like she might have been smarter than people gave, like than what people gave her credit for, and she saw that and was like, oh, but I want to like leak this so I can like escape this imperial cult. And be imprisoned within the rebellion, whatever, have a more lenient sentence and then negotiate that, right?
It didn't really work out that way for her, did it? No.
Sadly, no.
Hashtag justice for Deidre?
Justice for Deidre. No,
is that where we're
fuck
going?
you.
No. Surely not. Surely
no,
not.
but the point is
she
that
she
like,
did still oversee the first of the genocides of the major genocides of the Imperial core world.
Yes, but I think
Alderaan did come really shortly after.
Really shortly after that.
That's a matter of what, months?
Yeah, and I think
weeks even. I need to actually double check the data.
We need
on
to
that.
double check that. But in
it's
general,
not far. Like, I remember that.
I mean, of course you do. But my point was that like this is far more complicated than just like who was the real traitor. I think like it is. We just
Maybe
like
we
don't
should
fucking
do, like,
know.
a proper episode.
I don't think we should just like kind of understand. Like even I've tried my best to understand what could lead a person to do something like that, even like from a black and white standpoint. And I find myself like realizing that is lacking in certain kind of contextual analysis of like how these weird fucking freaks function.
I tend to find that a lot of them, it's just not important to them. It's not that they are like cackling evil supervillains. It's just that they just don't care, and it makes a bit of money, and it advances their careers. But that's getting slightly off topic. So far before either Deidre Merrow or Lonnie Young were caught, both Vader and Palpatine were aware of significant leaks and sought to crack down on them as harshly as possible. So, Zenna, I believe that you were the one that reported on the Gore tapes properly. So would you like to take it from here?
I absolutely, surely, possibly, maybe, like Bjork, will take over now.
Who's Bjork? Is she like a famous Jedi Master? I really should know this shit, shouldn't I?
I will remedy this as soon as we finish this fucking rebellion.
That might take a while.
Your girl needs to listen to some Bjork, I'm afraid.
Sounds like she'd be like, haunting.
Depending on
meditative.
If she... Never mind.
Please continue.
Palpatine, along with Vader, decided there is nothing more that they can risk in this new top cabinet administration than another mole incident. So what they decide is, of course, Palpatine ordering the full electronic surveillance of the top ISB and Imperial officers who were involved in the Gorman conference, including his loyal personal aides. The person who comes up with the names of all of these people. Do you want to take a fucking guess? Do you want to take a guess?
I mean, I assume it's Vader.
One. What is your second pick?
Tarkin would probably be my next pick.
Okay, what is your third one?
Those are the two biggest top dogs of that.
Okay, what is your third one?
Yeah, like, but if it's neither of those two, who the fuck is it going to be? Like,
It's fucking Krennic.
It's Krennic?
Fucking Krennic.
Are you shitting me? Are you actually shitting
fucking
me?
Krennic, who is in between all of the personal aides, all of the ISB agents, and the Imperial aides, everybody with the suspicion of a mole. It's always going to be fucking Krennic. Do you want to take a fucking guess why?
Go on, tell me.
He's a little careerist piece of fucking shit.
Yeah,
Little weird
fuck that
toe-sucking guy. Go suck some toes for breakfast. I don't know. Don't do this shit. Do something more interesting than running a fucking wiretap.
I mean, he tried
Anyways,
to. He tried to run the DS1 project. Didn't go well for him.
Didn't go well for
Fuck
him.
that
Not
guy.
sexually repressed enough.
I do so love that he died on Scarif. It makes me
Thank
happy.
fucking God.
Makes me
Thank fucking God.
happy.
Rest in peace.
Rest in actual piss. But please continue.
So, the one person who goes around being buddy-buddy, pally-pally with everybody, and then gives back all of the fucking names to one Darth Vader, like sheep to the laser block, was him. However, because Palpatine is probably drunk on many space drugs, on space coke,
he's spiced as fuck.
spiced as fuck,
Spicy
paranoid,
boy.
he not only orders the surveillance of Krennic, but he also orders the surveillance of one of his most trusted personal aides, who just happens to be the topic of this very four-part
that's how that
fucking
happened.
episode. Take a fucking guess.
He's the one that orders the surveillance of Vader.
Yes, he fucking is.
That's
but unbeknownst
fucking
to fucking everybody, absolutely nobody but Palpatine, motherfucking Sheev Palpatine himself, he also fucking wiretaps himself. He also wiretaps himself. And this, my
fucking
dearest
doofus.
friends, this, my
Fucking
friends, is how we
absolute
know
cretin.
everything. Yes, Veronica, this is how we know everything. I should be paid by Mon Mothma herself to continue this integrity, standard, cunt, uniqueness, nerve, and charisma and talent to do this kind of bullshit work.
You know who else has the
Charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent?
to do? Do you know who else doesn't do bullshit work? The products and sponsors that support this podcast.
Blaster prices so low, they should be illegal! There is only one thing more valuable than water and Tatooine, and you know it. It's guns! You won't find a cheaper MK3 anywhere else, and if you do, we'll shoot them up! Lowest price guaranteed. Visit illegal blasters today and stay stripped!
Are we still doing eternal screeching? Are we still doing this bit? Okay. I hope that sponsor was normal and that we're not going to get in trouble.
I hope we're not gonna get into trouble. I'm so sorry, Mon Mothma, for making you feel bad for hosting
I don't want to
us.
inadvertently
on
do
the
another
waves.
advertisement for Jabba the Epstein's barge, which I don't think we need to vet who we get on sponsors.
I think we can kindly ask Senator Mon Mothma if our humble little podcast can continue to get ethical ads and sponsors that probably don't condone child hunting islands like who
Never did this. Blue Milk never did this. We can't keep doing this.
I'm so sorry, but I have to make these jokes.
Fucking hell, I guess
But
one
we
of us
were
has to.
back on yes, in fact, our dear listeners, it is this exact chain of events of why we know so much fucking bullshit about these fucking crazy, drug-addicted, idiot bastards who don't do anything
The
but
guys
do
that run this
drugs and
whole
genocide,
empire.
which like there is something to like how much was their like ability to do things affected by drugs, but I don't like.
Did you know that Sith born Sith born after 50 BBY, negative 50 BBY can't cook? All they know is
Doing space drugs?
all they know is do genocide, do spice and lie.
Eat spice and lie?
Eat spice and lie.
Eat spice and
Spicy
lie.
hot chips.
Sucking dick and cock?
Sucking dick and cock.
Fuck.
Sequentially, in that order. Not parallel. Never parallel.
Yeah, and the funniest, like, just generally,
like,
I want you to mentally imagine you are me, Zenna Paloe, kind of broke, kind of depressed, starting to do journalism, kind of free flowing, not as free flowing, but like I was in a period of life.
Spiritual
Yeah, I was in a period of
flow
my-
within you.
And
Listen, someone has to believe in this old hokey
possibly
religion.
maybe pointedly ignoring that. The side-eye you just gave me was criminal, bombastic side-eye, I must
Listen,
say.
listen.
Our producer Veronica is also giving me another bombastic side-eye.
We love you, Veronica. Thank you for being our
Thank
producer.
you for being our producer for this episode while we are depressed in space, cold, miserable, and probably running low on rations and entertaining this cabin with...
Honestly, better than Yavin.
Don't shit on my Yavin.
Yavin was real. I'm pretty sure I caught like 5 different diseases in Yavin.
That's kind of a you problem, pale woman.
I'll take that. That's a fair criticism.
Like you are many things, but a woman who handles tropical, you are not.
No, I did unfortunately Darien scheme myself. That is a joke for approximately 4 people and no one else. So
Those 4 people being our other friends who are forced to listen to this podcast strapped to a chair in a
So-
non-sexual way, unfortunately.
Most of them won't even get that one. So the funniest part about all of this is that copies of all of the data tapes were recovered from the wreckage of the DS1 station. Literally all the data banks with them stored were raining down in debris over the
Unencrypted.
Rebel Alliance base.
Unencrypted.
Unencrypted. It was fucking raining data.
Unencrypted, bitchless ass motherfuckers. And see, kids, this is why you should use 2-factor authentication to secure your individual accounts, and also use Lux-based encryption for your fucking data banks. Let's go.
And they did not. So
And those little bitches did not, and that's how we know so much fucking shit. And I want you to imagine every single time I am going to say something that is like either in the tenor of Palpatine, imagine him higher on space drugs and alcohol than any other living person imaginable.
the living force does not live in Palpatine. Only Spice lives in Palpatine. So at this point, the Yavin base and Rebel Alliance were both in full operation, and the Gorman genocide and the public leaks of the Gore tapes really amped up support for the resistance several notches. In response to this growing threat, Vader ordered the acceleration of the DS1 superweapon project's construction. This was once more overseen directly by the then director Orson Krennic and friend of the pod Wilf Tarkin.
We should really stop saying friend of the pod for people who have done genocide. We're not...
No, they're not friends.
They're not friends.
They're not friends. Enemy
Mon
of the pod.
Mothma is a friend.
Mon Mothma's
Mon
more.
Mothma, please tell us who you assassinated. I'm really curious.
Mon Mothma, can you be more than a friend?
We need to stop doing that, but she might cut off funding from our podcast.
Yeah, maybe I should be more considerate. But I won't be. I refuse to be. I cannot be contained.
I think our
My-
producer Veronica is gonna have a field day with this one. I'm so sorry.
I'm not the one making Jeffrey the fucking Epstein bits. Jabba the Epstein. Fuck.
My
Fuck, what was his
therapist-
name? Fuck.
Jabba the Epstein.
Jabba the fucking Epstein.
I don't think you're being very girl boss supportive of me right now.
Oh
Mitra.
dear. Oh dear. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Hashtag non-supportive.
Do you feel
Non-supportive.
hashtag not blessed? So
No.
sorry.
But do you believe it?
But do you condemn the Gorman friend?
No. But why does it feel so good?
Because it's
Because it's true.
So this was once more fuck me. Oh dear. This was once more directly overseen by the then director Orson Krennic and friend of the pod not friend of the pod, Wilhuff Tarkin, Vader was reported to have not had that much of a positive working relationship with either Krennic or Tarkin. The transcript of a wiretap conversation between Vader and Krennic showed that he left most of the day-to-day running of the project to the other two. When Tarkin wrested control of the project away from Krennic, the disgruntled director went to complain to Vader about this. Vader's response was to become irritated with Krennic and then strangle him with the Force.
Krennic.
I need but we'll maybe have to put this through one like
We'll maybe have to put this
post.
through with like post.
But I just need you to listen to this bit, okay?
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
Be careful not to choke on your own aspirations. Be careful not to choke on your own fucking aspirations. What the fuck is this bit?
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
As he is actively choking Krennic. Vader's got a fucking... he's got a sense of humor. The sense of humor is violence.
I think not
His
just...
sense of humor is just violence.
I don't think that this cheeky kind of humor gets enough recognition.
Well, especially when you're actually strangling someone. So despite being one of the main overseers of the DS1 project, Vader was reportedly not its greatest fan. From a wiretapped meeting on aboard...
another wiretap meeting.
Yep, from aboard the DS1 station
Imagine
itself.
everything you're learning, again, it will just be from the wiretap's prime source, ground zero, motherfuckers.
He is reported to have reprimanded senior Imperial Admiralty officials, stating, quote, "Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force." When challenged on this by Admiral Conan Motti, he strangled him as well.
Okay, is this like how like when we see each other we like hug each other, but like he just like does a force choke?
No, I think it's a kink.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm into it. Are you into it, Zenna?
No.
Okay. Well, that makes one of us then.
Do I want to know if you've done this? I don't think. I think we should know less about each other.
This is a
I
phrase
think
you do
we should
keep
know
saying.
less about each other.
Did your therapist tell you this in response to hanging out with me?
No, my therapist told me this when I have mentioned several things that I found out during the gore tapes, and I was horrified to know that like during high-profile Senate meetings when Palpatine was super stressed, and when people wouldn't listen to him and he was too senile, too drunk, and too high on space coke, he would start crying
Yeah.
and beg Vader to do the right thing. And when he got too stressed, he would stop the meeting and go to a toilet and dip his smelly, grubby feet into the toilet, just to like
Just to de-stress. Just to
de-stress, just as like
foot bath.
you know, like how I did my skincare routine, just like, you know, a little moisturizer, a little like fresh bar of soap,
It's deeply
and
concerning.
you know, but like he went and stopped a meeting just to have like a little 5-minute dip in the feet in the bowl.
Dip in the Mon Calamari.
Yeah, and that was something I was truly horrified to learn about. My therapist did say that I think we should know. She just looked at me and said, "Zenna, I think we should know less about people, and I do believe you should know less about people."
And yet
However,
you're still a journalist, and yet you're still finding out more about people.
still here and still finding shit out.
Yeah.
Imagine
Well-
every time you think of like Palpatine as a scary leader, imagine him crying after like finding out some inconceivable part of the plan that he totally made up didn't go right,
And
then
feet.
dips his out of stress and shame and more stress and more shame, dips his fucking feet into the toilet. Imagine that, please and
his
thank
wrinkly
you.
little feet.
That was horrifying to find out like in real time as I was like listening to everything.
Oh, you actually like heard the tapes of that? That was wiretapped as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's concerning. He wiretapped his own toilet?
No, but like
That's
there
less concerning.
was a moment of
I
a
don't think I-
meeting where he did take his toilet feet onto the desk and they were still kind of like semi-wet,
Just a little damp.
Just a little damp.
Just a little moisture.
semi-damp. I don't know.
I don't like this bit anymore.
It's not a bit.
Oh no. Oh no.
I don't know what to tell you, Meetra. It's not a bit.
I think we should know less about each other.
I think so too. Don't you agree?
So the power of the DS1 superweapon was something that clearly enticed both Palpatine and Vader. However, the existence of such a domineering force would only be effective if it was adequately displayed. It was widely assumed that the destruction of Alderaan and the genocide of its people, a second genocide, was something undertaken for the
Commit a third one
keenly-
to get a venti.
Fuck me. It was widely assumed that this was something undertaken keenly calculated for political reasons. However, extended gore tapes show that the decision was made almost entirely arbitrarily and likely while Palpatine was distinctly not sober. We have a recording of the tapes here.
See, the attack on Alderaan that we have in mind. Power plants, whatever's left. Coaxium, the docks. I think we ought to take the dikes out now. Will that drown people?
About 200 million people.
No. I'd rather use the Death Star. Have you got that, Vader?
That, I think, would just be too much.
The Death Star. Does that bother you? I just want you to think big, Vader, for plague's sake. The only place where you and I disagree is in regard to blasting. You're so goddamn concerned about civilians. I don't give a damn. I don't care.
I'm concerned about the civilians because I don't want the Senate to be mobilized against you as a butcher.
Well, we all know how well that went down.
Don't we? And I want you to
fucking nuked Alderaan.
And I want you to
2
imagine
seconds later.
And I want you to imagine that in between arguments, you can just hear echoes and also Palpatine. This is like an excerpt from the longer recording. He actually leaves, dips his toilet feet, comes back and starts this conversation. And with that, I am also getting a signal from our producer. Do you know who also dips their feet in the toilet while they are stressed at a high-profile meeting?
I don't know.
Planning a genocide.
I don't know if is that going to be our pull too? Is that going to be our?
The products are sponsors of this podcast.
Oh God.
The following advertisement is commissioned at the request of the Ministry of Enlightenment. Discover New Gorman, the beautiful fields, the spider habitats, and safe atmosphere. Tickets from selected systems starting from 98 credits, and accommodation starting from 300 credits, and New Gorman night. Book your next vacation today. Explore the new with a touch of the old. Ask about New Gorman at your local travel agency.
And we're back. So
I hope that like we didn't get an atrocious ad.
I don't think we control the ads anymore. I've just resigned myself to being under the horrors of late galactic capital.
Yeah.
Forever and ever
And ever.
I sure hope that this rebellion works out and that we restore a republic that is somehow fair and more just and won't just give rise to fascism again. That would suck. So, Palpatine, yes, was drunk as fuck. And this is almost definitely the reason that the Senate was dissolved immediately before the genocide of Alderaan. Those specifics as to what made the Imperial Admiralty pull the trigger when they did are not entirely known. What we do know is that in the early hours of the morning on Coruscant, now bear with me here, Zenna.
I am bearing.
Are you,
and
bear,
I am bearing.
You are bearing. I am
malleable and bearing.
Are you bearing down?
I'm bearing up.
Whoa.
Bearing up,
Holy
mama.
fuck. Okay, what we do know is that in the early hours of the morning on Coruscant, Palpatine is reported to have snuck out of his office and entirely evaded his ISB security protocol. And again, the story for this is fucking bizarre. So he had just finished a press conference the previous evening where he had been questioned about the expanding Imperial operations in the Outer Rim as part of the Galactic Civil War. And following this, made 20 holocalls to seemingly random people, including Mas Amida, Wilf Tarkin, and multiple random reporters. He then slept from 2:15 to 4 a.m., whereupon he woke and put on an extremely loud volume recording of the opera Squid Lake, which is, by the way, Squid Lake is apparently a favorite of his.
Oh my god.
I
didn't expect myself to miss this detail. I know so much more about this weird, grubby little man.
Yeah, no, I personally find Squid Lake to be a bit tacky as an opera, but, whatever. This woke up his aide and valet, Sly Moore, whom he demanded to take him to the Imperial Plaza. He is extremely intoxicated at this point to meet anti-war protesters. He reportedly spoke to them for 2 hours about the war.
What do you mean he... Wait. What do you mean he, like...
Yeah, he just got in a fucking... He just got...
He just, like, escaped his ISB personnel?
Yeah, he just dodged them all, got in his car, and went to speak to a bunch of protesters.
I would be paying a lot of money.
Whilst drunk as fuck.
I would pay a lot of money to be a fly on the wall and observe the interaction between the anti-war protesters and Palpatine just showing up being like,
Oh, there's recordings of this.
do you hate me?
He said this is what, so he reportedly
Oh my
said
god,
the following.
so he said something like,
yeah, we've got a recording of this, right? So just
let's fucking go. You're showing me this.
Yep, I absolutely am.
Fuck.
I hope that your hatred of the war, which I could well understand, would not turn into a bitter hatred of our whole system, our country, and everything that it stood for. I said that I know probably most of you think I'm an SOP, but I want you to know that I understand just how you feel.
He reportedly went on a long rant about the quote-unquote spiritual hunger which all of us have, and how wonderful the architecture in
just
Naboo
sounds
and
gay.
Corellia is.
That just sounds a bit gay.
I think he's talking about the dark side of the Force.
I think that just sounds a bit gay.
A bit malleable.
Gapey. I prefer.
Listen, if you and I have to smuggle spice again, off fucking Corellia, fuck me.
Where do you want to put it?
I think you're the more malleable of the two of us. As I have said before and will say again. When ISB and Compnor agents retrieved Palpatine, he reportedly demanded to be taken back via the defunct Imperial Senate, whereupon he sat in his former senatorial seat and demanded that Moore make a speech to the otherwise empty room. Moore then spoke of her pride at being an Imperial citizen, and it is reported that several janitorial droids applauded. These were the only quote-unquote staff in the building.
Oh my god. And I thought toilet feet, like dipping your feet in toilet feet were worse, but this is the shame. This is like our podcast, but not just 4 people listening, but like less than 4. Mm-hmm. We're making this only for ourselves.
Yeah, well, they were to the maintenance droids. I'm sure they liked it.
Not to shade on the maintenance droids.
They
but
do
like,
an important job, but also I don't think they've got much choice in the matter as to
but
whether
like
they
I would
applaud or
also
not.
pay to be a fly on the a lot of money to be a fly on the wall for this.
Following this, he insisted to his ISB guard that he wished to visit Jetster's Diner, a local restaurant, and then insisted again on drunkenly walking back to the Imperial Palace. He was, following this, forcibly dragged into a sky car by Moore, and all protesters on the square were immediately arrested.
Oh my god. What is this guy's problem? What is this guy's actual problem? I think many
I
things...
think the spice is probably at least part of his problems at this point, honestly.
He probably drank that shit like Yoda drinks his fucking moonshine.
I would not drink Yoda's moonshine. I've come to that conclusion.
I think I would, and then
That's concerning.
Thank you. My therapist also seems to think so.
I'm glad. That your
Yes.
therapist has got a strong head on her shoulders. Are you sure you want to drink Yoda's Rhydonium moonshine?
Yes, and I also
Are you
want...
going to inhale the fucking Rhydo? Like fucking... Are you going to inhale the fucking Rhydo like Saw Gerrera?
No.
You know that Saw Gerrera was found dead in Neamos?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Like, we thought he died on fucking Jeddah. Turns out, no.
Turns out no.
No, turns
That
out he's
man-
alive.
Yeah.
And then he died on Neamos.
Yeah, that guy.
I mean, a lot of people die in Neamos, to be honest.
Honestly, one thing I can give that man respect.
I heard
Or-
Scrappy Doo died on fucking Neamos.
Huh?
What?
Who died in Neamos?
Fucking carry on.
No, but one thing I can give Saw Gerrera, which like he stands on business. A lot of things he has done, which are terrible, and like, sure, but
I mean, you know, when you're fighting for your nation as an anti-imperialist, then you do some things.
yeah, I'm not
That's fine.
judging, and I'm not judging
I'm not
him.
judging that. I mean, I'm judging the nationalism.
Absolutely, I'm also always going to judge the nationalism, but
Yeah, he was fighting to restore a monarchy.
Yeah, some people don't often talk about that.
yeah. However, he was
So
like
Guerrera. This is
So
Republic of
Guerrera.
Srpska.
So Guerrera is from Republic of Srpska, if I'm not mistaken.
That would. I mean, I don't think you are. Why am I getting so emotional about this?
Because you know it's true.
All right. Okay. I don't know if
Do you
any of
know-
our
do you
listeners
know-
are going to
do you know
get this
also
one.
who is from Republika Srpska?
Who else is from Republika Srpska?
Well, Krennic, of course.
Are you? I actually fucking seriously?
No.
I
That's
heard everyone
what Joanna Jolic, famous imperial alternate historian says.
Where is she even living now? Is she still in Karelia or is she still on the run?
I don't know. However, I know a bad bitch who takes public transit and gives us.
That is a burn.
And I know a bad bitch who takes public transit, doesn't take a pyramid scheme money, and gives me good conspiracy theories for free.
I'm glad that you get some journalistic material there.
No, but really, like when you think about all of these cults, like they don't have the decency to do this for free. Yeah. They always create some kind of pyramid scheme. At least I can respect the hustle that it takes being a bad bitch.
That uses public transit.
That uses public transit, thinking that, like, I don't know, Siberia, like, world of Serbia is the center of the world.
The death world of Serbia.
Yes.
So, after this wild outing of Palpatine's, this also likely heavily influenced Vader's decision not to return to the galactic capital, despite his previous plans to do so. Vader instead remained on the DS-1 station during this time, and would be stationed there until its eventual destruction several days later, though he himself did manage to escape the fire. The actual destruction of the DS-1 battle station is something I'm going to gloss over a little bit here, as that's been discussed and analysed in a bunch of different ways already. And
Yeah, we also do have like a couple of kooky eye conspiracy theories that me and Meetra have, so we're not...
listen, like I buy into that one farm kid. Like, I've seen him around. Have you seen him? You know,
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah.
You've seen Luke, right?
Yeah.
I've seen him. I fucking like his vibe.
Yeah,
That guy
he's
fucking
alright.
shines.
He's alright. He's alright.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
he's
I'm
got
not
some aura around him. Not
I'm
gonna
not
lie.
force sensitive, but like he's just
He's
a
got that
vibe.
Yes.
He's a young kid, and I'm not that older than him, but like with the things they've seen and I've seen, and it's just I do feel like there is like
Sometimes we live centuries in a matter of weeks. Yeah.
yeah, and then it was just like yeah, but he seemed alright, you know.
I like the kid. I really hope that he doesn't come out to support, fascist regimes later in life. So the actual destruction of the DS-1 battle station, as I was saying, that's something I'm going to gloss over a bit here because it has been covered by a lot of other fellow podcasts already. And there's not really a lot that Vader does personally in this time to affect the outcome. A few Alliance pilots, led by small one-man fighters, went into vulnerable areas of the battle station and crippled all of its systems, leading to a multiple cascade failure and the explosion of all of its main reactors. Vader's own personal starship is reported to have been outside the station at the time of its destruction, which does add up with what we know of his previous talents in the Clone Wars and his escape from the station's destruction. One of the pilots that was involved in the takedown of the Death Star was reportedly using the code name of Skywalker during that flight, which I think this is an ironic homage to the former Jedi rather than anything of significance. But, I mean, there was some discussion it could have been Luke.
Honestly,
But, honestly, if that's what he's doing, that's actually kind of cool fucking vibes. That's a history knowledge that I wouldn't have expected him to know, you know?
Honestly, but even just that, like, everything in this fucking galaxy can't be just fucking concentrated around this one fucking family. God fucking damn it.
No, surely he can't be related, right? That would
Do you
wouldn't
know
make sense.
who also probably was related?
Was or wasn't related?
Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma's in everything.
Yeah. Do you know who else is also in everything and should be in your home today? The products and services that support this podcast.
Blue Banta keeps you going all night! Get the new Spider Silk flavor in stores today and experience the unending fountain of energy with Blue Banta!
Okay, I don't think we can keep doing the atonal screeching when we come back.
Where?
My Wookiee friends have told me that it's actually really offensive. I think we've just told, I think we may have just cursed in, four different ways.
I think I probably did accidentally curse, 10 generations, and I'm so sorry. I did not mean that.
You do have a habit of doing this, with the Watto suit and with this,
The Watto suit, I can excuse myself because I was a young child who was not ready to be in this world. However, I think I have made up for that with my incredible journalistic integrity and the fact that I just keep doing shit.
Yeah, probably the attempts at speaking Shiriwook may
My attempts at speaking Wookiee were not the greatest. I did almost get mauled to death, and I think you were there to witness that.
I mean, I did. Yeah. I thought it was funny.
That was not my proudest moment. You thought it was funny. I was running for my life.
Yeah, but it was very entertaining. So we're kind of actually approaching a point where we're going to need to really wrap this up because this really takes us mostly to where we are now. So following this, Vader has been active on mostly active military fronts, though we don't have anywhere near as much reporting on him. The last confirmed sighting of him by Alliance soldiers was across the surface of Hoth, where we just fucking were, shortly before the evacuation. Yeah, he was there too. He was there. We narrowly missed him. Just think, we could have been there. We could have asked him about Palpatine's damp little toes.
Do you think?
We could have asked him personally.
Do you think you can smell those feet?
No, I think his respirator prevents that stench from coming anywhere near him.
Lucky him.
Yeah, I would say I'm jealous, but I just don't think I am. I just don't think that would be true.
I would pay a lot of my money to be in the room to smell the room. Not just read the vibes, but smell the vibes.
I would pay a lot of money not to. So I'm glad that we show our contrasting ideals here on this podcast. Also, Zenna, what the fuck?
I'm so sorry.
Oh dear. The only thing that we know for certain is that Vader appears to have used the Force to strangle yet another Imperial officer.
Ding, ding,
As
ding.
as the corpse of former officer Admiral Ozal was found buried in a shallow grave with no blaster marks and evidence of strangulation without finger marks in the snow of Hoth. My man just really fucking likes choking people.
I think we need to encourage more anti-choking behavior because I think this is a bit fucking ridiculous.
It's a favorite of his. Like I say, as a king.
See, I think
and are we kink shaming, Zenna? Are we kink shaming?
No, I think we should just know less about each other.
I think that's kink shaming. I think you're gonna get cancelled. On Space Twitter.
On Space Twitter.
On Space X, the everything databank.
Yeah, I've been almost cancelled.
Sorry for using Space Twitter's dead name.
I've gotten cancelled for the reporting I've done on the gore tapes. I've also gotten cancelled for when people found out that was me in the Watto suit, which fine, I deserve that.
I've got cancelled for Malachor. It's fine.
Girl, we're not gonna.
It's fine. We can have a little war crime as a treat. Just one.
And yet you judge me.
So, this really takes us up to the present day. Should we do one more throw to ads before we...
Do you know who also tries to not talk to protesters when they're depressed? and also drunk and high on space coke.
Is it the products and sponsors of this podcast?
Of course.
Please help me. They're about to cut. It hurts to miss out on this brand new delicious Asian burger by Space McGee. Coming to chains all around you. Simply reheat the container and meet your new temporarily conscious friend. But don't delay too long. It only comes life to life once and goes silent after 12 hours if left on the table. Space McGee, you are what you eat.
So, and
We're back!
and we're back, I guess. So this about takes us to the present day. So we just don't have any more wiretapped information to go on. Unfortunately, all those wiretaps did get blown up.
Did get fucking blown up.
Yeah.
I didn't really finish doing everything, but like the main portions that I did publish did kind of propel me into like a lot of
Well, you've been...
attention
Yeah, deservedly so.
that I don't know how to feel like because I'm just
Well, you're famous now. You're famous and your face is everywhere. How do you feel about that?
not great
On
because
all
I
the
am
wanted
hunted
posters.
like a child on child hunting island.
We cannot keep talking. We cannot keep doing this. We cannot keep talking about the child hunting island.
Yeah, my face I do have to mention my face is on Republic Wanted posters, and
Like,
maybe as a
all the
little
Imperial Wanted
treat if
posters-
the patrons of
Imperial
this.
Wanted posters want us both. It's
Okay.
fine.
I mean,
It's fine.
I think you're a bit too malleable and old to be wanted.
Excuse me. Fucking excuse me. Say it to my fucking face. Fuck you.
I'm looking the bombastic side that I was just
I
given.
will fucking end you. I will Vader choke you right now. Do you want me to do that? Do you want me to do
No.
Vader's kink on you?
No.
I think it's kink shaming. So, some sources suggest that Vader has been active around Bespin to secure the Tabana gas mines for the production of E-11 rifles, foregoing further super weapons to take a more conventional approach. So, it's not looking great for the Rebel Alliance, and Dark Daddy hasn't really ever faced justice for his multiple crimes. But there's always hope, I guess. You know, maybe we can petition Senator Mothma to come in and personally assassinate everyone.
Mon Mothma, please assassinate this weird little freak.
How are we feeling about that, Zenna? How are we feeling as we come to the end of this expose on Dark Daddy, the Daddy of Darkness,
The daddy of
the
darkness.
darkest daddy that ever darked. He was also Daddy.
Honestly, a
Would
bit
you call
hopeful.
him Daddy? Would you call him Daddy?
No.
I would.
I think that's like a you thing.
That's a me problem. That's okay. That's
yeah,
okay.
and that's okay. And I think
And we shouldn't king shame.
And this is where, dear listeners, I will end the podcast by saying I think sometimes we should know less about each other.
Anything you want to plug? Your
Myself.
therapist? and with that,
No, thank you, my therapist, Helena, who is state mandated by Mon Mothma, who keeps me sane. You're lovely. I'm sorry I keep talking about the toilet feet I encounter.
yeah.
Those few sessions when I started the gore tapes were pretty awful. Thank you for listening.
You can find us on various places. You can find more on our main website, fucking Corellian Zone Media, and you can find a bit more on patreon.com/Silmatil. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
Behind the Banthas is a production of Corellian Zone Media. For more from Corellian Zone Media, visit our HoloNet archive at patreon.com/Silmatil or check us out on YouTube.